right, friends, now that we have spent a unit working with paragraphs every week on Wednesdays, we are going to be doing a paragraph that will be due the following Wednesday. So you're going to have a week to work on this. If you want to do it all on one day, you are more than welcome to. If you want to get it done by the end of the week, that is totally fine. But this is something that you're going to be given a new paragraph of the week every Wednesday that will be due the following Wednesday. Okay, so you have a lot of time to work on it. You will see here, and I will present this for you, that you will be given a copy of the slides that looks like this. This is the first page. So you are, actually, I'll do this. You are going to be writing a paragraph based off of this right here, this prompt. This one this week is called Always Learning. We are always learning new things. Think about something you recently learned. It could be something from school, from home, or from an after-school activity. Write a paragraph explaining what you learned. So down here at the bottom it says, don't forget to include 5 to 8 sentences, which we are going to have the same layout as we have worked with. You will have 1 topic sentence, 3 supporting details, 1 extra information, and a conclusion sentence. Now, you could have more than 1 extra information if you wish, but otherwise 1 is only required. So here you're going to be able to type in just some brainstorming ideas. Here is probably where you want to list, and where you should list, your 3 main ideas for your supporting details. So let's say we are learning new things. What did I learn recently? You know what? I learned a lot about Google Classroom and virtual teaching lately. So I could say just virtual teaching in general, because that is going to be what my paragraph's about. I'm always learning this. Okay, this is something I recently learned. And maybe I want to write down my 3 supporting details that I'm going to use. Maybe that's Google Classroom. Maybe that's recording my lessons. And then the last one could be Google Forms, since we use those almost every day. Okay, so those could be my 3 supporting details, and then I could find a way to reword whatever I write for my topic sentence as my conclusion sentence down here. But this is just a spot where you're going to brainstorm. So I would write your main idea of your paragraph, or what you're going to, the main topic. So I'm always learning. Right now I'm learning virtual teaching. And then list your 3 supporting detail, just basic ideas. Okay. Then going on to the next slide, you have a rough draft. So this is going to be your first draft. I expect there to be a lot of mistakes in this one. I expect you to maybe even make this super long or super short, because then you're going to be adding to this eventually. Okay, so this is just where you're going to start typing your original paragraph. So I could say, 1 new thing I learned this year is virtual teaching. And maybe you want to kind of do an outline. Topic sentence. Whoops. Okay, and then maybe you want to do supporting detail number 1. And then write your sentence, and then extra information, and then write your sentence. Supporting detail number 2, and write it. Supporting detail number 3, and write it. Oops, I spelled that wrong. And then topic sentence. Oh, I'm sorry, not topic. Conclusion. You kind of just lay it out this way so that if you get stuck on one of these things, and this can even be moved from supporting detail to the other, depending on where you want to put it. You can just use this as an outline right now. This is your rough draft. 1 new thing I learned this year is virtual teaching. Supporting detail number 1, I know I'm going to talk about Google Classroom. In order to do this, I had to learn all about Google Classroom. And then extra information, Google Classroom is a online database where teachers can post assignments and students can do and turn in assignments. And then I could say, go back to this, recording my lessons. I also had to learn how to record all of my lessons. Number 3, what did I put? Google Forms. Google Forms. Maybe I want to say something like, I learned how to turn a lot of worksheets into Google Forms. And then my conclusion sentence, this new thing for virtual teaching is a new thing I learned this year, and it has gone well so far. Okay, notice how when I roughly did my conclusion sentence, I use that keyword because that's up here, and then I use one new thing I learned this year, a new thing I learned this year, and then I kind of summarized all this different stuff. Okay, so this is just my rough draft. Now what I can do is copy all of this onto my next slide. Actually, you even want to do it down here so you have that little bit of information up there to kind of help you edit and revise your paragraph. You can, but now here, maybe I want to go back and go, wait, one new thing I learned this year is virtual teaching, but the prompt doesn't really say one new thing. It says, think about something you recently learned. It could be something from school, from home, or an after-school activity. Write a paragraph explaining what you learned. Maybe I don't want to do one new thing I learned this year is virtual teaching. And then in order to do this, I had to learn all about Google Classroom. Maybe I just want to say something new I learned this year. Something new I learned this year is virtual teaching. But in general, I'm talking about tools down here in order to do virtual teaching. So maybe I want to talk about the tools that I use instead of just virtual teaching in general. Something new I learned this year is different tools to use to teach virtually. Okay, and then in order to do this, I had to learn all about Google Classroom. That maybe doesn't make sense now that I've changed my topic sentence. So something new I learned this year is different tools to use to teach virtually. Maybe what I do is the first tool I learned all about is Google Classroom. And then my extra information actually kind of makes sense with that. Google Classroom is an online database where teachers can post assignments and students can do and turn in assignments. And then I say, I also had to learn how to record all my lessons. Well, that's not really talking about the tool. So maybe I say Screencastify, which is the one I'm using right now. Screencastify is a tool. I don't want to say learned about again. I just feel like I'm using that word a lot. Well, we can always change it for the final draft. Is a tool I learned to use to record my lessons. Okay, and then I learned how to turn a lot of worksheets into Google Forms. Virtual teaching is a new thing I learned this year, and it has gone well so far. But now my conclusion sentence doesn't really match my topic sentence. So I could go back here and say, okay, virtual teaching is something new I learned this year, and I have become comfortable with many tools to do this. Okay, so now this is not my exact paragraph, but now what this is up here is then use the revising and editing checklist to rewrite your draft, which is over here. Drag a check mark over the box to show you've completed each step. So that means, okay, my topic sentence is clearly stated. Something new I learned this year, and I'm using keywords from the original prompt over here. Something new I learned this year is different tools to teach virtually. Yep, my topic sentence is done, so I can drag a check mark there. Then I included strong supporting details. I have 3 of them, so I know I have that, and I actually have an extra information also. Making sure all details are related to the topic. Okay, talking about tools, virtual teaching, tools, virtual teaching, tool, virtual teaching, and tool, virtual teaching. Yep, all of them relate to the topic. Okay, I have a conclusion sentence. Yep, I do. So I can put that check mark over. I use strong vocabulary. Well, I think I did because I talked about these different tools and I used their names. I virtually. I think that's a different vocabulary word. I don't think that that's a very basic or young level of one. Became comfortable with many tools. I think my vocabulary is pretty good. But what's nice is you can go back and go, wait, maybe I can do a different word instead of learned, because I do use that a lot. So let's see here. Screencastify is a tool. What's another name for, or another word for learned? I used a lot, or I studied to use to record my lessons. I don't know if that really makes sense for Screencastify. Let's see. Screencastify is a tool I studied to use to record my lessons. I perfected to use, or I perfected to record my lessons. Maybe I want to do that instead. That's a different word. Okay, so then I used my strong vocabulary. I changed something so that I could make it a little bit stronger. And then I kept my reader's attention. Yeah, I think so. Okay, put check mark over there. Now I checked capitalization. Let's see. All of the first letters of my sentences are capitalized. My different names of my tools are capitalized. Yep, capitalization is good. Okay. Understanding. Does my paragraph make sense? Is it something that is actually answering the question here, or is it an unrelated topic? Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Punctuation. Do I have a period at the end of every sentence? Yes, I do. Do I have any other punctuation marks? Not really. No apostrophes, no question marks or anything. So yeah, punctuation mark is good. And spelling, I don't see any red squiggly lines underneath, so I know my spelling is good. But if I did see squiggly lines, I'd have to fix those. Now, this is the one that I'm grading. So copy and paste your final draft here, read your paragraph again, and make any changes if need be. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this. Oops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to copy this whole thing here. And then I'm going to get rid of this guy, copy that here. Then I'm going to get rid of what I put for my topic sentence, my supporting detail number 1, extra information, supporting detail number 2, number 3, and conclusion sentence. So I just have these sentences here. Now I'm going to put them into paragraph form. So I might enter down, but I'm going to tab over indent because I know I need to indent the first one. And I'm going to make these all on the same paragraph here. Okay, and now look at this. I have a paragraph. If you want to make it bigger, you could, just because this is your final one. It's up to you. Okay, well, now I know I need to put a space there. Some of the spacing after my sentences aren't what they should be. That looks good. And then I would type my name here. Oops. And then I would be good. Now, like I said, this is going to be due a week from when you're assigned it. So that means that you don't have to sit down and do all this right now and one day. You could if you wanted to and get it done, turn it in. But what's nice is you could spend a day brainstorming and then come back. And then the next day, maybe do your rough draft. And then the next day, check over your rough draft, change things that you need. And then maybe by the Wednesday of the following week, you edit this and you copy it in and you're ready to turn in your final draft. Okay? What I'm going to be doing is looking for some brainstorming ideas in each one. I'm going to read through this. If you want to put this outline in here, you're more than welcome to. The topic sentence, supporting detail number 1, extra information, all that. You can. You don't have to though. But what is kind of nice is this makes it a little bit more of a graphic organizer, a rough draft. You kind of have all your parts. You make sure all your parts are there. And then once you get to this, you do your checklist. And I'm looking for all of these check marks in the box. So I want to see that you are looking over this checklist and checking over your paragraph also. Okay? This is what I'm going to be grading as your final. I'm going to look for at least 6 sentences. So that is 1 supporting detail. Maybe I'll write this down for you here. 1 supporting detail. Or, I'm sorry, 1 topic sentence. 3 supporting details. 1 extra information. And 1 conclusion sentence. Okay, so that is 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6 sentences total. Now you can have more than that if you want, but you have to have a minimum of 6. Okay, so if you want to put extra information for each one, each supporting detail, you're more than welcome to. Okay, then you would turn this in and I would grade it on the rubric that I will attach to the assignment. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. I know this is kind of a long assignment, but from now on, after this first one is assigned, I won't be doing a video like this. I'll just post the assignment and you'll know how to do it. But I just wanted to spend some time explaining the assignment. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.